Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about another multiplication strategy a lot of you will find very interesting. So let's get started. If you're new to my channel, please check out my other videos on multiplication. In this video, we will be using the Japanese multiplication method. During this video, you will see how easily lines can be used in multiplication. Some of you might even think that this is some kind of magic, but believe me, it's not magic, it's math. We will start from a very simple example like this. Many of you already know the answer to this problem. Next, we will try to multiply 2-digit by 1-digit numbers. We will continue to use this strategy to multiply 2-digit by 2-digit numbers. Finally, we will move on to 3-digit numbers. First, we will find the product of 3-digit by 2-digit numbers. And the last problem will be the hardest one. We will multiply 3-digit by 3-digit numbers. Let's get started. We will try to use Japanese multiplication model on this simple example. For every number in the problem, we will draw a corresponding number of lines. Our first factor is 3. Or we can say 3 ones. So let's draw exactly 3 lines. The second factor in this problem is 5, or 5 ones. We will draw 5 lines in the opposite direction. These 5 lines will intersect our first 3 lines. Let's mark each intersection with a ladybug. We will count the total number of ladybugs in this selected rectangle. We will find our answer. It's 15. Let's try something harder now. Here's our second problem. Our first factor is 4 tens and 6 ones. Let's draw 4 lines that will represent our 4 tens in 46. Now let's add 6 more lines that will represent the 6 ones in 46. Finally, let's draw 5 lines in the opposite direction that represents 5 ones, which are our second factor in the problem. Here comes our ladybugs. You can see there are 2 sections on this drawing. You can separate them by simply drawing a line like this. Or you can circle each section or draw a rectangular box around it so it would be easy to see. The rectangular box on our right, where the coral red lines cross each other, these are our ones in the answer. Let's look at the rectangular box on our left, where the coral lines cross the aqua blue lines. These will be your tens in the answer. There are 30 ladybugs in the ones box, so we have to regroup our ones. 30 ones is 3 tens and 0 ones, which leaves 0 ones in the ones box and move 3 tens to the tens box. Now, we count intersections in the tens box. We have 20 of them, but wait a minute, we moved 3 more from the ones box. So we have a total of 23 tens. We do not have any other ladybugs to count, so let's write our answer. It is 23 tens, or 230. I hope this was easy for you, but let's try a bit harder this time. Our third example is multiply 2-digit by 2-digit numbers. You are already familiar with the strategy. Try to pause the video and solve it on your own. And if you are ready to follow me, let's draw 3 lines with the 3 tens in our first factor, 31. Let's draw 1 more line for 1 in 31. Now we will draw 2 lines in the opposite direction for 2 tens in 24. Finally, we will draw 4 lines that will represent our 4 ones in the second factor of 24. Look carefully at this drawing. How many sections do you see? I can see 3 different sections here. You can use the lines or boxes to separate these sections and make it easier for you. I prefer to draw a box. The first section or box is where our ones will go. Next, we will draw a box for the middle section, tens box. Finally, we will draw the last box for our third section, which is our hundreds. we will count our ones in our ones box and have 4 points where the lines cross. Let's write them down. In our tens box, we have 14 points where the lines cross, but 14 is a 2-digit number, so we have to regroup. 4 will stay in the tens box and 1 will move to the hundreds box. Finally, we will count points where the lines cross in the hundreds box, but we should not forget about the one that moved from the tens box. So we have 7 in the hundreds box, 4 in the tens box, and 4 in the ones box, which means our answer is 744. We did a great job, and I think we're ready for a real challenge now. We will multiply 3-digit by 2-digit numbers. First, we will draw one block line because we have 100 in our first factor, 124. Now, we will draw 2 lines for our 2 tens in 124. Finally, we will draw 4 lines for our 4 ones in 124. Let's move on to our second factor, 51. Let's draw 5 lines in the opposite direction for 5 tens in 51. Lastly, we will add 1 more line for 1 in 51. We are done drawing. Now let's see how many sections we've got. I can see 4 sections, can you? This first box is 4 ones. In this next box, we will have our tens. This is where our hundreds will go. And the last but not least is for the thousands. Now we will count points where our lines cross and we will regroup if we get 2-digit numbers. We don't need to regroup our ones, but we will regroup our tens as we've done in the previous example. We will count our hundreds. Do not forget to add those that moved from the tens box. And we will regroup our hundreds too, as 13, as it is a 2-digit number. Lastly, we will count our thousands and add those that came from the hundreds box. Finally, we are ready to write down the answer. It is 6,324. Easy, right? This is our last problem in this video. Try it by yourself or follow me. I'm not going to show you the steps for this one. I think you've got this, but you can check your lines and the answer in just a second. I'm glad you spent time with me today to learn something new. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. Let's learn together.